What's up everyone, welcome back to Switchcraft, and it's a great day to be a gamer. I didn't want to mess with the tagline or anything, but some people are a little sad and taken aback today as we've recently found out that Nintendo of America President and Chief Operating Officer Reggie Fils-Amie is retiring. It'll be officially effective April 15th and he'll be replaced by, and I'm not making this up, Doug Bowser. Today, we're going to recap some of the Reggie highlights and also dig a little deeper to see who Doug Bowser actually is, and what this could mean for Nintendo of America. It's probably awesome, but we do have one teeny tiny thing that caught my eye when looking him up that might not bode well with Nintendo fans. But first, a little tribute to Reggie. He began with Nintendo in 2003 as the VP of Sales and Marketing, and a couple of years later in 2006, he was promoted to the Chief Operating Officer. When he joined Nintendo, systems like the GameCube and the Game Boy Advance were in their prime. He oversaw the rollout of Nintendogs, Brain Age, Wii Sport, and Wii Fit, which, while not for hardcore gamers, still brought millions and millions over to the platform. His leadership saw future systems like the Nintendo DS, Wii, 3DS, and Switch break sales records. And his silly, slightly sarcastic, but results-driven attitude made him a favorite of the media and gamers alike. I always saw Reggie as the big boss of Nintendo of America who knew when to have fun, but also when to draw the line and be serious. For a lot of people out there, especially in North America, Reggie is the only face of Nintendo they've ever known. He did a great job, and while he will be missed, I wish him nothing but the best in whatever he chooses to do next, as long as he doesn't end up at Microsoft or something. Now, we gotta talk about the gentleman taking his place, Doug Bowser. At first glance, he seems like an obvious pick. He's been with Nintendo since 2015 as the VP of Sales and Marketing, just like Reggie. A year later, he was promoted to the Senior VP of Sales and Marketing position, which is basically the same role, but basically a newly created position to keep him happy as a reward for a job well done. The timeline would suggest that he joined Nintendo a little more than halfway into the life cycle of the Wii U. I would have been really worried if he'd been the one to launch the Wii U, as we all know that marketing for that console was arguably one of the reasons for its downfall. No, it looks like we have Scott Moffat to thank for that fiasco, and Bowser was brought in to replace him. Bowser essentially did what he could to salvage the Wii U, but he was ultimately the mastermind behind the brilliant and much needed refresh of advertising for the Nintendo Switch. The Switch and its success in North America is, in a very real way, his baby. So he's got a pretty good track record, and his results speak for themselves. But where I really raised an eyebrow when I was doing research for this piece, looking at Bowser's history before jumping ship to Nintendo, was that it turns out that prior to Nintendo, Bowser served as an executive for Electronic Arts. I'm not even going to go too far into the state of that business from a gamer's perspective, but no, it's a microtransaction-infected, yearly recycled titled corporate mess that is becoming more and more out of touch with the people who actually play their games. Yet in spite of that, do they make a boatload of money? Absolutely. So I can see the appeal of putting him in a position of power, and you can bet he'll want to make a mark on the company. I'm not judging him yet, because he hasn't assumed the role and hasn't even done anything yet. But I'd be lying if I said I wasn't just a little worried about Nintendo adopting some of the business practices of EA in the coming years. Imagine what life would be like if our annual Mario and Zelda titles weren't the spectacular and timeless single and multiplayer games that they are now, but instead riddled with microtransactions, where if you're not interested in an artificial grind fest, you gotta dish out a couple bucks every time to get where you want to go. Just looking back at games like Mario Odyssey, all of Mario's outfits, oh, they're only $1.99 now. Every time a weapon breaks in Breath of the Wild, oh, you could have a new one for only $1. I don't know. I hope I'm just being alarmist right now, but it looks too easy to connect the dots. I hope that Bowser left that line of thinking behind him when he left EA. But if there's one thing we do know about anyone named Bowser, they might not always have the purest of intentions. Let me know down in the comments if you think I'm just being paranoid, or if maybe years from now we'll look back on this very video and realize we were onto something. Either way, thanks for watching. It's a great day to be a gamer. Switchcraft out.